You know, every single
Okay,
win
this
matters,
is an
especially so for
absolutely
NRG.
stacked
But
game
these two
right now.
teams,
We get
they
Haven,
want to win against each other for very different reasons.
Madness.
All
We got
personal
Yoru,
reasons that dates back,
Omen,
you know, 2
Deadlock,
years now, but that's ancient in Valorant
Fade,
terms.
It really is. And I'm going to be paying
Clove.
attention to these two
No
IGLs and what
info
they're cooking up,
sentinel
and
on a Haven.
especially
I have not seen that
Vanessa's got
played for
plan B here, 'cause
years.
this looks
Kind
like
of a
check
reason
comp
for
if I've
that.
ever seen one.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how they want
Walking
to
down
play.
mid, trying to break that
The
turret.
Yoru
Pretty
makes up a
common
little bit
pistol
because they can
round
fast
idea,
flood
because it takes a lot
rotate.
of information
I mean, they can just
away from
fast
the
rotate.
attackers.
Blood out of there.
The turret not broken, but Leaf retracts it anyway.
Okay, I
We
like
know
that
how
they're
G2
going
are
to start
gonna
using
try to
stuff like
approach
this.
this. They're a
The
slow-paced
wall
team,
in just like hidden
and this
places to make sure they
composition,
have to
we've
break
seen
it.
it tons of times before. It's NRG that are the wild cards here.
Is
Victor's
Fade not
holding
in
the
chat? Chat.
ready
I'm
to do a
talking
lot of
info
damage if this
sentinel,
is a C
Cypher,
exec. Think
Killjoy.
about what they've got,
Like
the tools
turret,
that the
alarm
defense has
bot,
to work
camera,
with.
trips.
Paranoia, metal,
Talking that.
very difficult to get through that if you're trying to do and execute into it.
Okay, NRG on defense,
But we
G2 on
already
attack.
see the deadlock wall going down. Only provides you 30
Avia,
seconds
thank you for the prime.
of
Chat, if I
safety.
miss any subs, I
And then
apologize. I'll catch
suddenly,
them after the
A
game.
is a lot more open.
But A,
The
thank
trouble
you.
with G2 is that they will literally run down the clock first 40 seconds, essentially.
Honestly, Leaf,
waiting out the
in my
initial
opinion
util.
here, should be
if
aiming
there's
to
an
get
aggressive play on the
around
other side of things. And NRG's
15,
You know, as much as it is cooking,
15
it's
to
lacking
18,
some of the
maybe even
basic
20 kills
necessities.
on
You see the
attack.
exec now from G2.
Like, he should be able to
No one
lock
waiting onto the B side.
everywhere.
NRG won't be able to really meet
He's
this
off to a
one
good
here,
start.
and it's faking a pivot. Utah was just trying at least disguise their intent as they head over towards the C side, and they have ripped it open.
Yeah, let's see. I reckon he can get
Strike
20.
one to Val in there. I doubt that that was their intended pistol idea. One of many, perhaps. But G2 putting that together really nicely late into this round. Now a 3v5 for the rest of NRG to recover. These players were stacked over towards A.
Victor going down, still has the smokes available, of course, the Paranoia. Sweeps through the garage players. Ethan was alone there towards the back of the site, trying to make something happen, anything at all, but
Hey,
possibilities just
very,
dwindle. It's a
very nice
flawless
pistol on
round
this
for
one. We'll
G2.
keep an eye on it.
Standard stuff
0-1.
from them, honestly, nothing out of the
At least off
box.
the top of my head, I'm expecting like an 8-4. Something like that, considering the comps. No info like that. No info sentinel. I don't think you should be getting more than like 4 or 5.
Just comes straight up C so they can get
We'll see.
max value out of Paranoia and Metal. And because of Icy's pathing coming around behind them, the Metal ended up being used for that flank push, and some got totally caught off guard.
Okay,
G2
3 rifles.
already
They're allowed
getting
2
that
deaths on
early
this one.
advantage in terms of unpredictability.
Just the overall calling as well.
And I think this gives us another opportunity to hammer home what Ender was talking about on the desk. You might look at this and think, okay, deadlock, double smokes, they've got Paranoia and Metal. This looks good on the defense side, but you're lacking so much information. Normally,
Passive map control.
absolutely. Normally, the Killjoy turret and alarm bot are going to give you information over towards B and garage until they're dealt with. You know, normally some Cypher trips and a camera.
And honestly, the slower G2 player and just slow map controls can be so
many
strong.
opportunities to pick holes in NRG unless they're playing at an absolute peak.
Placing alarm bot.
It's kind of nice
Here-
info
here,
though.
for example,
Stack.
'Because you would
so
imagine
here, for
a
example,
lot of the time they're
C
going to
is
be
just wide
4-1ing,
open,
especially
right?
if NRG
They
have
don't
looked
even
into how
have any
G2 buy,
information
and
that
a
they're
lot of
playing
time
full
Leaf is the
retake.
person that's trying to get
But if G2
info.
get
So
reads
as soon
on
as they hear
stuff
the
like
alarm bot
that,
over
then Valorant
towards
is
here, they
gonna
can probably
start
stack
calling
somewhere
not
else.
just contact
Because
walks,
they
but
like to
even
4-1 a
contact
lot.
lurks all the way through one of these
Fast.
empty sites.
I don't know how much they looked into
see it now.
who doesn't buy the
Contact
guns,
up
but
all the way just to the
Leaf's
precipice,
always
and now
hunting.
send out a bit of that util. Plan will go
30
down.
seconds left.
Not much to push this away. The flank kill found there. Victor not able
Yeah.
to take out Leaf.
3 out of 20. Let's see if we can get 20 on
Leaf's
attack.
going to have to be on his best behavior as well. If
Here.
Victor and Som start going for flank pushes of their own, there's so many smokes that they can throw out to block off a turret.
Yeah, he has to be really worried about that.
Yeah.
All right, so
It's
we've got
gonna
2
be-
people that are allowed to hunt at the moment. Maybe
Again,
Valen
it's
would
just-
switch this
it's,
over to
the
Jonah
plays
P or
there
someone
for
with a
them,
better
really.
ult.
NRG can try and go down to this fight. Leaf's going to hunt down the kills. He's the one without the weapon. Bates around
Okay,
the corner.
throws it
Finesse
over
gets
to
the better
Trent
of
so
him.
he can search.
And Trent now also hunting for a few cheeky ult orb kills, but
Right, they have 3 rifles. Decent.
nothing else to be said with that one. So G2 cleaning up the anti-eco.
And of course, these teams in the past, the cores of these teams anyway, have played some very explosive Valorant at different times throughout the meta. You think about Victor playing Neon and making space for Ye on this map in the past. You think about
Turn the volume up of the
Cypher when he
caster
was with
slightly,
the guard,
ever so
explosive
slightly.
Jet.
Third hit.
But the situation now with these two teams and the comps they're running, I'm expecting this to be slow-paced, more of, and I hate to use the cliche, but more of that like chess match. It's very,
Okay,
very
so for
slow-paced,
G2 we've got a really good
slow moving
bonus.
pieces around the
Obviously
map,
NRG, if they lose this, they got
feeling
to
each other out
eco.
before they commit in a direction, with occasional tempo increases. If
And
we were
this,
gonna
in
run a
theory,
fast
should be
round,
NRG's
this would be a
best
decent
round.
one to go for G2.
It's a bonus round for them. A lot of danger in it though with the weapons that they got already. You're seeing
What a great
play
start.
picked off. That's Victor. Straight up the gut down mid. That's Leaf just containing this one. He will play aggressive. He will take those fights and not shy away from it.
Yeah, one of the more aggressive players on the team actually, and he finds himself on Killjoy. He finds the style that he plays.
Yeah, so
Finesse
this is how they're
throws
just going to be
down
approaching A,
that
just
barrier mesh.
passive
So that's
walls,
30 seconds
like what
unless
you
they
would do on a
choose to
Sage
break
back in
it.
2021.
So now Broken pulls the players over.
Pretty evident now this is going to be that A hit. Fault line out through the back. Stun and
Ball
Paranoia
pass
is all
and
connected here with the
rotate. I mean, they got everyone here for
top.
NRG.
Reinforcements have arrived from NRG.
Yeah, a
but G2
cancel
not
would be
committed.
unbelievable.
Just backing away and still
If
holding
they
this
don't
one.
cancel,
don't
they just cut
decide
sounds.
to engage into
So
the side. Now waiting out for that Utah, and they're going
bring pressure. The longer that they wait, the longer the chances of
G2
getting
are
to these
very
areas.
happy to go for
And
rotates
against
around the map.
Pomp
Crashies
that
and
has
Finesse, they've got
no
to
info
anticipate
means
this
they have to
all
do
for
this stuff.
info.
Oh, this could absolutely backfire entirely on NRG. They need that mid-round information. They want to be granted it.
Very
Flash
good
to the
call,
back.
man.
Dodged
Very,
by
very good
Son,
call
but he
from
can't
Valin.
win the fight out. Not against Icy. Red hot in terms of the form.
30 seconds left.
And another slam dunk round. It's a bonus round conversion for G2.
They're looking immaculate. And I think Valin does such an excellent job of balancing out when he goes for rotates completely across the map and when he goes for re-hits. You see there that Finesse probably thought G2 are likely rotating at this kind of timing because Valin loves to run across maps. And
They got it's a comp made for
re-explore
attack
and
in my mind.
exactly into the stack of G2, all waiting to re-hit
I
the
think
site.
we gotta see it on.
And especially when you see Sova
We gotta
bridge
see it on
compositions
attack,
like the one
but
that G2
I would be
running,
surprised if they get more
re-hit
than 4
slowly
rounds with it.
because you use fault line dart and then you probably wait a full 40 seconds for it to get back online. Or you get gifted kills by people re-exploring, as happened in this instance. So the re-hits tend to have a little slower pace on this map compared to times where you would be seeing the sky being run or something like that, where you can just send out another flash immediately.
Again, highlights the weakness, I think, of NRG's comp on the defense side. I mean, you're not going to know where these players are landing just because they don't have the
They'll come back down from 12 now.
Or any other Sentinel that's more standard than the Deadlock.
Yeah, that's true.
No way Victor walks down
Not a great
middle again.
beginning for NRG, but we saw them make an enormous comeback when they played against Sentinels on their attack side. Now, that time, it was powered by Finesse.
This goes right into what I commented about the RX struggling against Talon's comp today. G2 have seemed to figure out the weakness instantly. Yeah, I agree. Like that, just the fact that they cut sound here
Deep down,
and just held was a very good sign.
He's going to be absorbing a lot of this aggression, just cannot reset the aim. Cooling down a Sheriff long enough for him to land that shot. Valin removing him from the fight. Through the back of the side as well. It's going to be Icy just posting himself up. This will be a nuisance for them. NRG are trying to get this retake on the go.
Can they lose?
Seas connects. They do
Can
spawn
they
them
lose
out.
any guns?
Want to try and take the first brunt of all of this. And a lot of Utah's being just expended to try and clear
There's
him out
one.
of position. Finally removing him. Get him out of there. But now they have to try and play this post plan with a lot of time left. It's all being removed away from them. Barrier mesh will not be stopping any sort of darts or the aftershock. Plenty of beautiful, bountiful in terms of what G2 have got to work with. And it's all essentially laid out for them nice and easy into another round win. 4 in a row for G2.
A great calling again. Valin realizes that that push is happening down C-Long, reacts very quickly.
Interesting
into B,
idea.
And they play what is quite
I
a
don't think it
typical
worked.
standard post-plan
The
setup.
how they planned it.
I think Finesse
I
throws
don't
the
think it's
ball
meant
down
to
there
look like
because it's
that.
gonna body block for him, actually. That really large
Really
central
don't think it's meant to look like
absorb
that.
A lot of damage that might be thrown
In case they spam with bullets.
Yeah, looking to go
exactly.
for the diffuser. But they didn't use the bullets, they used a shock dart and an aftershock. And so, not quite finding that, but something to keep an eye on for the future because they must get value out of this
Okay,
unusual
Ethan
composition
buys an
in
op
unusual
and they go
ways.
aggro towards C with an Omen.
Sorry to interrupt. It was looking like an A lobby fight, but I didn't realize Ethan has picked up the op. So.
Yeah, I like the op
Yeah,
though.
just trying to get posted onto the angle. He's obviously got this gate crash over in spawn as well.
Did
And
the
Ethan's
wall
got
over
now
towards
posted
B.
onto a pretty
I mean,
decent
all
line, but I
G2 have to
don't
do
think they
is go find the
realise
wall, break the
that
wall.
Icy and Valin are already
Oh, they
passed
gotta
over
be doing it. They
towards
don't have to do
A-Long.
too much of a default because they got no info. It's pretty much there. Can
Taking
literally
the time and past him.
break the wall,
I mean, there's potential.
break the pressure. Someone's gonna be weak.
They might drive him into Ethan.
They might be able to just
Probably
plug
they
one
take out the
of
only
scene.
smokes. That is giant.
Valin gone.
Yeah, so now they could just play A Heaven if they wanted with the op
That's the
of
reaction
early
from G2
rotate.
here, but again, it's nothing fast. To be here in this util, just trying to pre-aim it to get rid of it. That's Leaf aiming for it through the wall.
But this
Like this as well, we've got no op, so this angle should be super strong. Sorry, no smoke.
And Valen also down, so no smokes for G2. It's so hard to
It's a
commit onto
very
site
good
on A
stun.
without them.
And they get info to the opposite.
Almost looked like they wanted to go to the A
It's
side
impressive
instead,
from
just
G2 the
pushing
much they
Ethan
actually
away,
get
getting
into
that
sight
fight
here.
down. Once more onto the B side. But what's the next layer to this for G2? To replay it down, he might have to make the decision, but it's handed to him. Leaf, it's granted easy access to even out the fight to that 4-on-4. Him versus Som might even stand up to that challenge, but no, just backing away, shying away, paranoia up in his face.
What a great reposition from him. Leaf is a monster right now. He's doing everything perfect.
Down now, Hunter's Fury. That's going to be used into the choke point.
Look at the line on it as well.
Targets, including the kill.
Unknown FME, thank you so much for the prime. Thank you.
Even with the op, it just doesn't look doable. And G2
might be cooked. They might not even get 4 rounds.
into this one. It doesn't matter that they lose that opening advantage. First pick not going their way. They want to take this operator out of Ethan's hands. No consolation prizes for him.
5-0.
I would have handled it a different way after they killed the smokes, but I understand what they went for. Hegemon, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 6 months. Thank you with the prime. Karokaf as well. Thank you with the prime.
Having a smoke agent online. No controller whatsoever.
What is FNS cooking? It's an attack comp where they win after plant 100% if they get over towards site, and the Omen or the Deadlock, either one of them is alive. But it sucks on defense.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick that round out into
They could definitely do some kind of, I think, man, I have a really good nade for them that would help.
G2 are doing such a great job of adapting their game plans to what NRG are going for.
I would like to see aggro A, hold 1A, Hero go close.
To adapt on the fly, and yet it looks so great from G2. I think there are matches. Well, first of all, let me zoom out. G2 have been criminally underrated for a while now. You've got to say it. They're the #1 team from America.
G2 underrated? That is very fair.
Though they came in as the 2nd seed. But they've been marred by this 4-3 record in the regular season. You can see it there at the top of the screen. And I mean, our analyst desk, I don't mean to roast them again, but 5th in the power rankings.
Yeah.
For the team that got to Shanghai, made it the deepest, had a very similar run actually to 100 Thieves, but had some impressive
Is the nade like the A main Guacamole? Yeah, if you see me do that one, then yeah.
At some point, there's going to be a match that wakes people up.
Actually the same lineup.
And makes them recognize how good they are. And, you know, they're playing pretty flawlessly right now.
This could be a chance for NRG.
Problem is they got no like original stuns to stop anything.
Grab there, that's a connection onto 2, at least with that.
Yeah, now we can double flash this, right?
Jonah P, it's slowed down this push by NRG. Actually can't take the fight
One
themselves.
flash they had.
A dodge, the TP to evacuate.
Ethan left him
into this spot. Smoke. It's propped up and placed up.
Ethan's out of there.
Leaf here. Does he expect this one? Will he clear this corner? Will he even decide to commit?
Leaf needs to be careful here. Doesn't have to do anything crazy. Doesn't need to give him a gun.
G2 are so good at just this pause that they insert into the middle of the round.
Yeah, and this cutter sound again just creates so much pressure everywhere. They just got such a good idea of how to play this at the moment.
As well towards the back of the side, FNS taking a bit of damage in the process, but the dart completely clears that through the
man, Leaf is on to the 20 like I said he should be getting.
He is being pressured. Still, the weaponry not ideal for NRG, but if they do take out Leaf, maybe there's a chance.
He did fantastic. They get a gun though.
Damn hard for them.
Ethan's there trying to get back through garage.
His own
deadlock wall in his face.
His own deadlock walls on his face.
Anti-synergy there.
He's just gonna save the gun.
Was able to retrieve that Phantom, but has to do so much in this spot. Don't think there's anything happening here.
No.
Another round, obviously G2 with an enormous economy advantage, but another round that they navigate really nicely.
Just missing the timing.
I feel like the NRG comp. No. I think they could have done a much simpler version if they wanted to play Deadlock. They kind of really seem to like Clove at the moment, which is
Ethan and Som.
okay, but I'd be playing the
grab
Clove
net to set
differently
it
to how
up
they're
is a
playing it.
lovely
I would probably
idea.
just like,
NRG have clearly been in the lab
I
cooking
would
some of
probably
these
just
up.
perma
But
it
instantly,
on one of the
this is what I'm
sites with some of the
talking about.
deadlock
G2 have not been
util.
running scrims against people doing this
And then you
strat.
just gamble
And they
everywhere
had
else.
something preset. But instantly, they've got
Ethan, I guess,
Icy
once
throwing out a
up.
one-way, then throwing out a second cloudburst on the floor to
Did a
cover
little
the
bit of
fact that
damage
they
though.
have to pull
We'll give them
themselves
that.
up from the ground, out of the grab net. The cover
Yeah,
for
okay.
themselves to counter what G2 are
He
going
wants
for is
to
lovely,
op.
and then once
Okay,
they
there's
get
a
to
round that they're
position
going to be
of
getting. It should be
stability,
this.
Valen's calling takes over and delivers them.
Scanning ahead.
Just got
Got
so
a
many
lot
good
of ults on
protocols
this
that are,
one.
I mean, super well drilled. It's the word that we use to describe G2 all the time. Always anticipating if there's a bit of aggression, they're going to have a plan for it. Flash to clear out into mid here, making a bit of noise. Once more, they're putting the operator into Ethan's hands, and he might get his chance
Closed.
to strike back. Has to dodge the drone for now.
He does not have a gate crash anymore.
Look at
It
G2 though.
expired. He doesn't have a
They
second.
they are doing everything
this is
perfectly,
dangerous.
and there's a
Really
world
risky.
where they
He
spam
has
this.
no way to get out of here.
I mean, if he can get one back up and maybe use his ultimate, that would be the only choice.
They
past
got to
him
go
now.
proactive, and they push over
Pushing
towards
up
middle.
deep
At the
into
moment,
mid
we
here
have
to
no
great
killjoy.
exploration by NRG.
though,
They're going to be very
for
aware
this
this
push
is going to be
behind.
happening towards A. Just depends on how fast this flank comes through. That is
Oh,
incredible.
that's a lot of
information,
info.
Som.
That's 4.
Just sees about 3 or 4 of them, but
Okay, now
Ethan
they have a
is gonna
turret
be
watching
alone.
behind.
Operating here, needs to land that shot. Icy just removes him. Leaf tugged to the side. Some annihilations going to be used to at least remove him, and it needs to be some help. A bailout from the G2 players. NRG going for this
God, how
one.
tanky is
Jumped
it?
out wide. Leaf essentially just left out into the
It's
open there.
essentially just
removed
gave the kill to
the
Som.
wrapping. Crashies dropping out from the high ground. It's a fight on multiple fronts right now.
If
but G2
Som
still
can,
have
he
a bit
kind
of
of needs
control of this, putting
to
a
wait for
squeeze
him
onto
to get this
Trent.
kill and
Wasn't
smoke the
expecting that
spike
one,
for him.
leaving it just down to that
Team should be
1v2.
smoking,
Best
pinging the
opportunity.
spike.
Then NRG have had in quite some time to win this round. Smoke's propped up. Some sticking it, and it's
Okay,
covered in
very
time.
nicely
Crashies.
handled. The 2-on-2 was very nicely handled.
Drops
Like the push from
IGL.
NRG.
Finally getting
Gotta be
around
doing
on the
stuff like that
board.
with this comp.
Difficult for NRG, and they used a huge amount of ultimates
I mean,
to
yeah,
get
they
there.
used a lot of ults. They can't repeat this.
Eventually,
It's so hard for them to repeat this, and it was
such a comical
very close.
situation here as Som
How many ults did
just
G2 use?
leave, hand delivered over to him towards A lobby. At that point, what is the reason for breaking the annihilation cocoon?
Well, didn't
Trent
use any,
probably
and they
did.
got 4.
But that took
They're
a
gonna
fair few
reset them, you would
ultimates.
imagine.
And that also took a nicely called mid-round push down,
And then
down the guard.
they're gonna
down
have no
mid
money because
to
it's gonna be
set
1-9.
Finesse up for that annihilation onto the player holding the corner.
Ethan
You
up
look at the
again,
ultimates
this time
and
sending it
the
down
state
towards
of the
middle.
game, it's
Every
completely the other
round,
way around in
Victor's
terms
just
of
been
advantages
facing
now.
mid. They're using,
Mixing it up with a bit of a
using the
fast
Clove
play
like
for
a
G2.
duelist.
That deadlock wall is doing
Okay,
nothing.
dying.
It just got blown up in a minute. Slight pause now, waiting for the dart towards the back.
Yeah, we've got 4 people fast here to go in though. Nades, Omen Flash, oh, what an Omen Flash.
This time, explosive,
Uh-oh,
but
Leaf.
exactly at the right
Oh, God.
moment. Striking wide the eye and his heart, but still Leaf from behind. He'll answer back at G2. Removing all of them. Trent, it's a masterclass. How have they pulled this off?
Yeah, dude, Leaf is annihilating them, by the way.
much more to do.
As you should be when they have no info
Again,
sentinel.
plant. Can afford this, Leaf. He's got a space and breathing room here just from the lockdown that is dropped. 1v1
Yeah,
though.
Fade Eye's pretty big here.
Operator in his hands. Leaf is just watching for the cross up here and Crashies. Not ready for it, but still with a missed shot. It's a slight jiggle. The reposition. Backs himself away.
Catch them.
Nano Swarm.
Oh, with the
Responds to
Clove Smoke,
spike,
the
drops
Clove
it
Smoke
away.
is
Crashies Still
giant.
with a lot to play for here. One Haunt available, going for it. Potentially half onto it, smoked off. Under the spike, stick it!
Oh, that's huge, man. That was huge. The Clove impact.
Vintage Crashies! Absolutely nuts play there. Leaf
That was lovely, man.
Not that he played it particularly badly, he just missed those 2 off shots when he needed to land it onto Crashies. There's the star clutcher. It was a great round from Leaf as well, I think.
Yeah, it was. He did good up until this point. And then the op made sense until the smoke came down, and then he had the chance, he just missed the shot with the jiggle peek.
They knew it was headed towards C, they dodged the breach shot, and they flooded back in instantly
The two
afterwards. The composition there looked really
on
nice.
their way to 4.
As Ethan led the
I
charge
think
and the rest
4
were
and they're
close
okay.
behind.
That's pretty much where it sits in my head. And they get 2
Gradually,
more.
NRG are picking themselves back up off the floor. How many rounds do they really need on the defensive half?
It's impossible to say, in my opinion, because we just have no measuring point for what NRG's composition is going to do on the attack side. Nobody plays this.
What we do know is that they have been improving with their attack side rounds overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ever since FNS has come back in here.
The bait in for Ethan.
Have the gate crash.
Will TP out. Oh, instant info. When's he peak? You're going to be tempted to peek pretty soon.
When Victor plays the jiggle
Have a jump peek maybe?
Alarm bells
Victor?
should be ringing. And Ethan and Victor choose this timing to walk down mid again.
Destroyed.
Yeah, they know that they could. What the hell is that shot?
Bullets going away for now.
It's good, okay. They need a bit of info. This will give them info. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seen them all.
Pretty much all of them, in fact, all of them.
And this looks great. This is delivering so much
Yeah, and
information.
G2 are going to make a good call here because there's 5 people on the side.
Composition.
Good call. They managed to send it away and they're going to 2-person fake. 3-person fake.
Okay, I thought the ult was going to be going to another side. No.
Yeah, the calling's been really good from G2 at the moment.
Pull these players, they are, but who's going to be meeting them? It's a battle and a race between these players. Som, he's getting a master sprint on right now, this guy. Getting the move on, smoke propped up into his face.
Send it. Got the arms.
Makes it nice
Not
and
flash.
Trent,
There's so many people here.
What's the call now for NRG? Trying to fight back over onto this one here, and they've inserted Valen into this deep tuck position. Out through the back of the side though. Now playing with a bit of a blitzering play. The trade is a
wow, Ethan's done unreal. 2v2.
Kicked it into a completely different gear. 2v2 though.
Yeah, look at the smokes.
We stand at. Tap onto it, at least with the smoke into his face, and he's isolated.
That creates a lot of pressure here. What does he do?
It's a possibility. Let's take onto it. Have at least so many possibilities for Ethan to play with.
Oh, he thought he was dead. Yeah, and he could have stuck it, and he just didn't think that Valen was going to... Well, I mean, he thought Valen was going to jump for him. 31 HP.
One tiny footstep that Valen threw out made Ethan believe that Valen was about to barrel his way into the smoke. He pulled out the shot.
Yeah, it was nice calling from Valen as well.
Almost had it.
One enemy.
NRG desperately needs somebody to come online in that way. That kind of round.
It would have been an unreal round from him. He did so good up until then.
Is needed. And yet still the score
And it forces him down to an eco.
Finding their way, navigating through all the danger.
The pre-aim.
That's rough. Victor's been caught a couple of times now.
Yeah.
In that kind of spot, but it can't deter NRG. They've still got to be going for those mid pushes.
7 away from the 20 that I said that be kind of
this round, obviously massive economy advantage for G2. NRG are just thinking about rounds 11, rounds 12. Looking to try to close the half out in a respectable manner.
A lot of utils now been pulled out by NRG here with all the bodies they've got. Grouping up over towards A.
Now in that previous round, when G2 made the mad dash over towards C, Som, he had teleports and a paranoia to work with. The call from the team was to play one big retake, not for Som to go in and try to
so nice from G2, though. They just have such a good idea. Get a kill, cut some sounds, and we're pretty much playing this like the other ecos where they just go 1-4. We just have Leaf trying to get info.
Instead, NRG have gone for the
he's obviously not going to send it into the site because he's give him
has read the state of the game pretty perfectly.
Maybe just a bit of that conditioning as well playing a factor. G2
30 seconds left.
went for the re-hit last time they were over towards A and they got stunted like that, so full rotation planned down now over towards C.
Found them.
Leaf looking to try and hold on. It's going to be pressured. 2 players up through mid, 2 on the flank as well.
Seven kills away. Does he get spotted over towards middle?
Make that 14.
They're spotting him though. Hail of bullets
Beast,
going to bring it down, and Anasol just gives him that buffer window of opportunity to work with, and Trent was there to back him up as well. Very white face by Crashies. It's a decent go of things here, but 12 health. It's going to be another round here for G2 up to 8.
How good has Leaf been at just controlling these positions? Anytime NRG is trying to get onto the flank, Leaf is there. When Leaf spots an opportunity to get an aggressive lurk going, he's deep into positions. We've seen him at top garage window multiple times, making that flank through onto the C site as well. He's been a monster for them on the attack side. Remember, attack side actually against Cloud9 on Lotus, he couldn't get going. He was held to only 4 kills. But then he woke up and delivered a monster performance on defense.
Okay.
G2 are running this game right now. NRG with only 2 rounds. And those 2 look good. One still going down to the wire.
I'm sure he should have saved there, right? Oh.
Barely a glimmer of success for them. And the scoreboard reflects that.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. 2 chances to get the 4 that I think they need, and they are sending it down towards middle again. I'll tell you what, Victor having a pretty rough game, but he's still got the confidence to do what he's been told to do. Take a lot of space on middle, and G2 probably feel like they've shut him down, and there's not a chance he's going to walk down middle. I respect that.
If they can close things out 8-4 here, I think Finesse will still feel fairly confident in his abilities as a caller.
I mean, just the comp is made for attack only.
Undersphere is going to use the supplement disto, push through onto the A site. Very explosive. The Horn is good. Does spot out and reveal a few of these G2 players, but NRG not making a decent go of things here. Trent could get caught, and it's an offline.
Very nice. And they have them locked in now. They actually have that info which they lack normally.
Drops it back and away.
And we've got Crashies all for retake. We've got Omen Flash. We've got
Crashies holding on to it. Nightfall now going to be used here, and it covers pretty much the entirety of the site with flashes combined.
Oh, they messed up their timing.
Trying to take this fight. Valen's still locking it down and holding it down. Still, it's a battle with these fights, and it is being won out by NRG. Just tucked into the hell position.
Okay.
The adjustment isn't there.
Yeah, slightly messed up their timing. I don't know if I missed some util to stop them at spawn. I probably did.
Well played there in the retake.
3, 1 away. 8-bit Ducky, how we doing?
Because
Hold
they've
on,
got
let me read
paranoia,
this real fast.
aftershock, fault line, these kind of things.
I understand we have Yoru over Raze. That's because they want to flash. The only reason they have Yoru is because they want to flash.
They still prevail, still
They're just trying to make sure they have everything. Teats, thank you so much for the 21 months. Appreciate the tier 1. Good to see you as well, Teats. So you got a video here somewhere.
Let's go.
It's going to be one last hurrah here.
Thief 1 away.
NRG.
16, he's done great.
Here.
Dragging together a bit of a buy, only just the one Guardian really. It's the weakest point for them, but they're stacking over towards the A side now.
Like their recon. I also like the fact that NRG are adjusting on the fly into the break with the recon to create pressure short, and then they're going to free pass and push through the smoke with long.
Going in that direction. They had the opportunity to haunt and flash through that smoke, and instead Ethan repositions to top garage.
And what's going to be asked of Victor?
Big Jules.
Position I see. It's an updraft dash.
Yeah.
Isolates that
How do you
fight
stay
onto
alive?
Finesse.
You got your ult.
Takes him down. Quick flash, bit of util as well. It's the
Shout out to Crashies on this one. Never really seen a fade in this position, but
G2 might be finishing.
Yeah, they've left, but they've inserted
full info on A with just 1. That's what they needed to kind of do with this.
These are these deep lurks that really NRG
And
have
G2
no
insert 1
knowledge
over
of.
towards
Ethan it could have
window
happened.
while they took over towards
They
B.
don't have
Shout out to
confirmation.
Leaf again.
This all hopefully a bit more information for themselves. Leaf spotted. See that one. Might be indicating it is going to be that hit over towards C now, and the middle is called with only about 40 seconds on the
Luck
board.
to some.
Out through the back.
Just
He's
missed the
gonna
guy
try and drop
backside.
this one, and
Whoa!
drop
What a shot, man.
2-4.
Hero round.
Right beneath his gaze and weapon, just with the Guardian in hand. Hops back up. Plenty more where that came from, and a rip around by Trent.
Okay, this is stacked. Really nicely done from Som. Loved the call in from G2, and I think they got the 4 that they need in theory. Pretty sure that's what they're thinking. Just 4 and we'll win attack. They probably need pistol.
To lead them from the bottom of the scoreboard to a win here on Haven.
Enemy spotted B.
But they had so many struggles with their composition on this side of the map. Very difficult for Victor to get online with the Clove. Tough for them to get into positions to run this retake style that did in the end work. Hard fought, but they won 4 out of the final 6 rounds.
Well, let's get a quick word up from Jonah P about G2's learnings from Shanghai.
Say the biggest.
Is it good on attack side? If they get into a site, they are not losing the afterplan.
How bad we start our games.
The G2 know this. So they're probably going to be going pretty aggro.
3 out of 4 of our games we've lost the first
White
map,
bar?
and
Dude, I have no idea how to
basically we
fix
just
on this
always have to
PC.
make
I'm not gonna lie.
comeback,
I
which,
tried earlier. I
you know,
flashbanged everyone.
We showed
Yeah,
that
I
a
think you
lot,
just got to
but
accept it,
at the
dude.
same time, it's just more pressure and stress added onto us having to do that. So I'll say that was a big surprise for us. Like, not.
Dreamer woke
not
up,
being
do
used to
the
just,
kill
getting destroyed first map
onto
and having to
Leaf was
dig
incredible.
ourselves out.
Zephy Remy with the Prime. Thank you very much, man. I
And
appreciate
I think
that.
that's another reason why
Did I
people
miss any
have been
subs?
underrating G2 a little bit, because there have
Unlucky,
been these maps,
unlucky loser.
even in their victories,
Thank you so much for the 7
where the
months.
team gets destroyed.
Wow,
Boostio,
Gracias as well.
sweet.
Thank you for the gifted.
Okay.
Just a
Thank you.
perpetual troll.
Still giving it the
I
chat.
think I said everyone else.
Of course
Fake
he
out
is.
with the Prime.
You're never gonna shut Boostio up.
Win shot. Maybe I
Doesn't
missed
matter
you.
that he's lost the last 2 matches. But I think everybody will have their eyes on what these teams look like heading towards the end of the season. These are your potential playoff opponents. Both of these teams I find it a little challenging to make playoffs this match.
Yeah, they are.
Very important. There is still a chance that you can go 5-5 and make it into playoffs. You know, but I think that's rough.
He didn't buy it. He doesn't know.
It's not. Yeah, it's not my cat sweater. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. I can't help you.
Yeah. No, but you're right. It's weird to say as well because we don't have anything definitive. We can't say, listen, when you get to 6, you've made playoffs in Americas.
Yeah, it's not
Still win with a chance if you go 5-5. There's still opportunities. It's weird the way it works with the round robin, but what we do know is that every single win that both of these teams get from this point on
16
will
to
make
6.
it that much easier.
He
For
did
NRG,
good. He
it
did
does
very
essentially need to be perfect. It will make it much harder if they drop even a single series.
Yes, 6-4 looks like
Part of this comp
it's
needs
the
to
record
change.
that we're
Dude, if it
gonna need
absolutely
to
slaps
get
on
into
attack,
playoffs.
it
Now
doesn't need to
that
change.
is not by
Like,
any means mathematically calculated. It just
I've done some mad
It looks
comps
that
in
way
my
at the
time.
moment.
Sometimes
So Gresson, okay,
you
G2,
gotta
push
just
out.
at least see what they
Pistol
got
straight mid, just spot the
before you
top of the
judge
head.
it.
Fault line is a little bit delayed in the coverage there.
Let's see
by
what they
Ethan.
got.
Swings out. Wasn't tagged up by that one, so that's nice by NRG. Immediately with 2 opening kills going their way, looking to set it in a different tone and direction once more. Over towards the C side.
And these two here are a hell of a
See more
lot.
evidence as
Just
well.
a little bit of damage done.
Attack side calling from
Hit
NRG
the
ever since
wall.
FNS has come back into this
Let's
roster.
we'll count the post
Into the
plants as
fold.
well. In theory, they
massively
shouldn't be
improved.
losing a
Don't have the
post
numbers on
plant
hand,
if
but
FNS
have to believe me.
or SOM is alive. That's how
yeah,
I view it
it's
in my
very
head.
evident just based on the eye test. They've looked a
They
lot
don't
more
both have to
confident.
be alive, just one of them.
Valen baited in.
Yeah, just a slight
Um,
check. Oh, there's no way.
Nice. Oh no!
way. That's a
No,
fumble
not
of
the
epic
Jew. Don't
proportions.
tell
Turn
me
back
they
with the
lose it
fire
like
here to
this.
seize. Release does connect.
Not
Tevazim
the
looks
Jew.
down into the position and place. Still chances.
Someone
to
bail
overcome
him
this
out.
one for NRG. Quick reload. Trent down onto the 1 HP. No way.
Ooh.
You have got to be kidding me. Victor.
1 HP.
47 HP. Time ticking. Up
Time.
onto the
Just
spike.
peek before half.
Trent forces stick
Okay.
this one. against
Holy
Victor.
hell! They bailed them out.
Easy kill. Red Bull clutch in the end.
They
The
bailed
first
him
round
out.
win. Necessary stuff for
Honestly,
NRG.
that could be good for the vibes. They could just laugh it off.
Should that one have ever
It'd work
come
out
down
well.
to a clutch? I don't think so. You've got setups there that are almost unlosable, and Valen somehow wiggled his way through that duo play.
Just don't talk about the post plants. I mean, this counts.
That's
They won the
really
round.
rough from Finesse and Som, the newest additions to NRG.
This one counts.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the classic is absolutely blessed, but sometimes, you know, you should just be
Okay,
closing that one
all
out. Has it
classics.
damaged the
Didn't be
economy
losing
too
to this
much
one.
for NRG,
Interesting to see
though?
that NRG are
They've
just
gotten away with
not
it a
in
bit
for
there.
the pistol
Pistol round wins.
at all. They're not in for the info with the
He's good
pistol.
looking to, again,
just
send it over towards
wanna-
C.
Yeah, and
Wanna-
I think
I
you're going
mean,
to see Victor and
It's still
Som
the same
throwing a lot
thing
of
where we
these
have rifle,
on-smoke
rifle,
sites
rifle,
trying to
but they're trying to
get
make sure
into
they
aggressive
don't get
positions.
ecoed.
They need to use their double smoke
Have
comp for
two
that
guns
control.
that could potentially be used to go farm. We'll see.
Drawn out a bit of that util, even the rotations as well. You can see four
The issue
players
with
now
this
stacked up.
is that they
G2
don't
side.
have that one person searching, right? Most
And
people
Victor
these
was just
days go with
holding,
like a
waiting to see if
4-1. The
anybody
one's
was
always the
pushing out
ghost. They
Garden,
can
so
scout out like you can
while Valen
see and go, well, there's
dominated
4
the
people
attack
here.
side in terms of
You can
his
just
calling,
reactively be ready to hit
finding
over
those
towards
gaps.
A.
Once more, I think
They're
it
not
bears
really
reiterating
doing
that
that.
Finesse
This
known
is a
for being an
little bit
attack side
riskier,
caller.
in
It's
my
normally
opinion,
his
what they're
teams
doing.
thrive on that side of the map.
They have the gun diff.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him also have similar levels of success here, where he feels out the stack, has that intuitive read on the game, and leads them towards emptier sites on the other side, as he's doing right now, pushing things into Leaf, who's only got the classic and a turret to work with.
That Leaf even
great
just taken
kill.
out as well.
Dropping 30 seconds.
He's watching for it, a contact push over towards A, so it will be that free
Can
plan
they
for
keep
NRG.
this
Just where they can
clean?
get their feet back
Do
un-
these two
underneath
hunt?
them.
Absolutely,
We're
especially
going to
if it's
include
clean
this
and
in the
they can
post
take a
blank
lot of
because
this
technically it
weapon
is,
into the,
even though this is an
bonus
absolute
round.
freebie.
Two Bulldogs, a Vandal to work with. If Ethan can push forwards and get the Yoruel online too, you know, you've got so many plays that you can make out the back of that.
Base of
Probably the one
Valorant?
that comes to mind the
That's
most
probably
is
Tarek,
having
right?
Ethan
Tarek 10s?
running around and trying to set up a paranoia
One of
off
them?
the back of it. So he pops out of his ultimate to face blinded opposition. But I think there's some serious stuff that NRG here can do with their ultimates once those come online too. Just think about the interactions with Nightfall and then Ethan coming out of an ult or a gate crash, or some teleporting into a weird spot whilst Victor smokes for the exec.
The Soup Pro,
Ethan's
thank you
really
for
trying
the
to get
primate.
his ult online. This is the most well-drilled denial of eco kills
Yeah,
I've
but
ever
they're
seen.
not going to want to
I
keep
mean,
the
G2
stinger, so
said
they
it
go die to it.
One ways over and over again.
the Super Pro,
Stunning him
thank
with
you for
the
doing
fault
that, mate.
line,
Oh well.
but still,
one away, you can absolutely get that orb on the attack side. Now, whether or not NRG want to play in that kind of way, it can end up being a bit predictable. So top-level attack side callers will not always play to their obvious outs.
Wait, that's the kill?
What a shot that was.
What the?
Not sure if there was an indicator prior or what, but bonus round.
I'll blame Prius for missing that one. That's outrageous.
Should be getting NRG back into the game if they manage to convert this one.
LeBron fan 039 with the prime. Thank you very much.
Playing over towards C to try to get that orb.
Okay, so Ethan died into it. He bought the Spectre, throws the Spectre to FNS. FNS gives him a proper gun. Comes with a Bulldog.
Pretty big indicator that there's players that
he is one away from his ult.
Especially with the Prowler now being used, and these players over towards the A site do need to be
They
careful. This
are
one. They
just sending
quickly.
it.
Fault line goes off to the side here. There's a smoke. The Paranoia all coming through.
Oh, grab net to back a sight.
It's clean.
And then they're in the smoke. This isn't still nice though.
Here's the flood attempt by Jonah P once more. One more flash available to him, but
where the swing is at? Where the swing is at? Back of sight.
Into the face. And some will eventually drop Jonah P.
2v2.
Was becoming a bit of a problem the way he was weaving in and out, but it's down to that 2 versus 2 NRG.
Yeah, normally when people have this smoke, everyone just sends it to the right.
And it's not being
Oh,
covered.
boss.
So I'm just
actually sold him to the dogs here. Okay, shout out to Leaf. He's been having a fantastic
and you know why Crash
game so far.
Because they have no info on the flank. Obviously, maybe.
Yeah, and I think they're expecting them to be pushing all the time because of that. It was a good bonus though. We got 3 kills, so we got 3 people.
About somebody
This will be a drop rate.
That big play around
Got 3 people. Can't buy next.
A pinch play in the retake. But I think both teams have played this kind of round really nicely. NRG have clearly got some great ideas of how to get Ethan into good positions. The Gravnet there to follow up on default. But G2 throwing great smokes from Valen to allow those players to anchor the site and play flood defense. Pleasure to watch teams that understand how to play Haven well.
Yeah, it is. This is just crazy stuff. One-way smoke that's NRG.
Yeah, they got good ults though. We've got to pay attention to this because if G2 win this, it's probably the game.
One of the most common ways of gaining C long
Right, we got everyone here with a circle on the can't buy next.
Some makes it much more difficult. Ethan's ultimate online. They need a win in this round, and it would harm the economy of G2.
This is nice for their default though. Smoke, double block of vision, so you got to have 2 people on A.
From NRG. Trent with the jiggle. Not even overstepped himself, but now just backs away now.
And then are they just going to do a straight up
information
hit?
gonna be
They don't have the most util off the info for this.
Pulling out that shorty.
That's something I'm completely forgetting about.
Wants to go for this fairly soon.
You can see he's very worried about the flank though. Possibility of it occurring, but time's dwindling. There's a stack from G2. It's all about this util and how well it clears the positioning of the G2 players.
Yeah, where does the Gravnet go? Back aside, hits 1. Ethan can ping out the guy that crouched. See this guy back aside, got util dumped heavy. And G2 are playing well because they're still fast flooding into the site. They're making sure that they're fighting site, right? They understand that if they get into site and these people are alive in terms of FNS or bump, they're going to lose. So 4 people fighting here, but the util dump on Valen here was disgusting. Ravnet into Omen Flash, into Teva.
That's going to make things difficult for people to flood back in. A Gravnet over towards default. Flashes for them to follow up on. Paranoia goes into hell. A flash that Ethan himself can send out. There's just so much
When I
going
first
on
start observing,
for those G2 players to deal with.
14 maybe? Maybe 10 years ago.
That's why we were saying.
I think that was my first event.
Of the second half when it was just
it's on Wikipedia somewhere.
I wasn't so eager to put the nail in the coffin for NRG. Their attack side calling, and you never really know how much work they put in as well with this composition. Sometimes, when teams come out with it, it can be a game of 2 sides, 2 halves.
Do you know what, Nil? Yesterday was the day, Nil.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the day.
NRG are no strangers to running weird compositions on Haven. They previously ran like a Phoenix double Sentinel composition that saw Victor on Phoenix super attack-sided comp, even though it was running a double Sentinel. Chet is down to cook up
really heavy util dumps.
Finesse in collaboration.
You asked yesterday. You asked yesterday morning, bit.
Ethan's got 17 kills here across 16 rounds.
Okay, and they got
Leaf
eco
has
on this one.
continued to have huge amounts of
And at
impact
the
as well,
moment,
so
I mean,
both got players
this is going to be pretty
stepping up.
obvious pause, and they might not do it on the eco because it's too obvious, but what's going to happen is when they get to like this mid-round, they're going to start pushing behind. They're going to start getting to like the 1 minute mark. If they haven't heard anything, they're going to start pushing half control. And just try and play off the fact they have no info sentinel. I imagine that's what they're talking about in the timeout.
Now, for anyone who's keeping track at home, finesse.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it in the eco because it's too obvious.
Oh, I missed that.
3 and 14.
They might.
Oh, well.
Some would be loving it if he was co-streaming.
That's an IGL moment.
But alas, you're here. Yeah, I mean, he's the utility on these execs are still good, and Finesse's calling on the attack side has still been really nice, but he has been struggling to get value in spots with his rifle. Is that going to end up making the difference? It's hard to say.
Is this hard read? Upper end of attack timeout, 4-player stack. I mean, you would go for something like this anyway, I think, if you're on the half-by round, but...
Here.
And here's the question, does Finesse get the read on this?
I'm gonna full send it though, right? I see his hero gun.
Looks very committed from our point of view. Prowler doesn't spot anything. The fault line to punish. Are they going to be ready?
Oh boy.
He's the one with the real danger into this one, but
yeah, I gotta see either a commit or fail on it.
NRG might just try and go for this one. Potential is there, at least with the smoke in their face. Second thoughts creeping in. Prowler through and around.
No way, on his head. Yeah, he's on him. Wait, and then he jumped into the others and revealed them all. There's no way. That's so sick. Dude, look at the damage done. They're gonna get eco'd. And this is what I was talking about, the fact that they might start going aggro once they see people on the other sides of the map.
He's wondering where to go.
Where on earth the NRG enter?
Decides to get out on A. Makes it a bit tough for NRG. They got spotted real early on there because of Leaf.
No way! What is that? Damage being done just absolutely skewers them. Down for away long. Finesse needs to win this fight out, but the rifle's been handed over. Jonah P with that in his hands.
30 seconds left.
Top was the IGL, and this is a disaster right now for
Yeah.
NRG.
Got eco'd.
Victor left alone in a 1v4. It's him that's going to pick up these pieces. Out wide though, Jonah P. I'm expecting that one with the forward face. Still the dart flies over and time is running against him. Victor, he's got no choice now but to try and stick this plant. And the bodies are going to swarm at any moment now. Momentarily. Bit of patience being played just from that smoke,
Nicely done from G2, and they had a really good read into this one. This is a great timeout from them. How many survived? 2, so they pick up 2 extra guns. That's incredible for Econ. GG? It's not GG with this though. They still got money they can buy. 3 survived, yeah, but they bought a hero gun into it, right? So it's only 2 extra guns picked up. That is so unlucky from Crashy's POV.
I mean, that couldn't get any better for Leaf in that kind of position. But how does he get into that spot? Because NRG forced to stall out against the stack over towards C, and Leaf reads the game and knows that he can just walk down mid.
It begins.
I think NRG might need
yeah, with that, their money's really good. NRG, must win round again for them.
Victor is the one who's just trying to hold this. There's a dart on his back. He is lit up. I see. I wanted to commit to the punish.
Some tanked a lot of damage through the smoke before it landed. I think G2 are playing this wrong though. Is this just not an after plant? Okay, let's add it to the list. 2 out of 2 after plants won. Oh, that's why they lose sight.
Now utilized by G2. This will clear out most of the sites. Spike still not planted. FNS now finally going to at least.
We're going to include it? Yeah, we'll include it. Let's see what we got.
What's going on here? Annihilation off into the corner. I mean, he is stuck here, surely detained. He did get the one.
They got one, but they can just spam this.
Got the time to do so. Still safe for it. Up through mid. Victor seeking to find it. This is getting sloppy. It's getting
we just have a spam fest. They play down long against the smoke because of the ult.
Pretty predictable positioning, going to be played by a lot of these NRG players.
Oh god, he did so much damage of it. Okay, very nicely done from G2. I questioned it, but as soon as I saw the killjoy, it made a lot of sense.
Bit of a gap in the protocol there for NRG. They should have been able to get the plan down way earlier on. A wasted ultimate as well from Finesse. Threw it out just to avoid himself being punished.
This is
but that's the kind of ult that you would love to have if things go down to the clutch there.
You're gonna force?
Annihilation on a player defusing, that's looking great. and instead forced to use it early on, and the rest of G2 takes side control easily off the
Yeah,
back
the
of
plan
Leaf's
from
lockdown.
G2 here was great.
Every round you can point to impact that Leaf is having. Whether it's something to do
It looked like
with
they didn't have an
his
extra
ultimate
plan
here,
for the
whether it's
Killjoy out
something
here.
to do with the push that he's got down mid and a
As soon as that
ridiculous
Killjoy
collab
came
kill
in,
A
or maybe it was like a
or
little
whether
bit
it's
earlier
his
than they
crazy
thought.
lurks on the attack side. He's been an absolute nightmare finding the gaps and the pain points for NRG.
Sitting at 22-9. I mean, top of the scoreboard. He stormed it, man. Right there, tippity top for G2. As he's known to do, honestly. He can take over games on the Killjoy.
He can. He certainly can. And I thought it would be getting more and more difficult for Leaf because you really can't hold on as a Killjoy against what NRG are throwing out in their executes. But he's found these moments, you know, in a retake scenario or when things get quiet in a mid-round. He's not so much getting this value by anchoring, he's getting the value by finding timings against NRG, by being active. So the timeout finishes.
Yeah, they force into it,
NRG now
and
4 behind.
we got double stinger. Probably need a fade
Victor
or
has picked up
what
the
do
glass cannon
do
vandal, trying to
is
make value
insane
out
after
of
that
close
eco
up.
round.
Here.
Around there's so many people surviving
It's
earlier.
looking like a B pop called for finesse. And what is this?
It's been better
read
for
again
FNS
from
planted
G2?
earlier. I think they probably, as soon as that all goes down and they haven't got the plant, I think they just bail out of there. As soon as you see the Sova ult, I think you just take the win. They had enough time to just go elsewhere on the map.
3-player stack just in case. Deep smoke, but obviously this high ground angle. Ice is going to be able to see anybody who just walks up. It's a jump spot. Diligence is at least there for FNS.
You see how Leaf's utility here is giving them garage information. And that allows players to stack in other positions. That's the
We
biggest
are
value
chilling,
getting
man. They are
passively,
expecting a
is that the
push.
players don't have to be watching it. They can play
The thing
crossfires
is,
and stack other areas, make those
they're
spots
expecting a
stronger.
push, but there's a world where G2 wouldn't have expected them to
Slow
force by
pace
here because it
beginning
is
to
double
round.
stinger.
And G2
But I
now
don't think they're going to be
incentivized
pushing
push
until they
down
realize that they
mid.
have guns. They hear the guns now, they start
This player's
pushing.
watching. At least Victor to contain. Plenty more where that came from as well. NRG might be even willing and eager to take this fight here. Could be the difference maker. Dash.
I tell you what, this is actually a very good, this is a very good timeout.
Needs to hunt down for at least a kill or a damage
Yeah, but
assist.
they probably
Get
leave the
back
site,
into
right? So they can
action
just
and
follow him up.
fray. Trent spraying him down. Blinded up though, Valen. Forced her back. Ravnet connects. TP to disengage.
30
NRG
seconds left.
All is
not
up
willing
to
take
Trent.
that
I don't know
fight
when he
to
gets
be
his
straight
recon.
over
We've got
towards
25
A now.
seconds
Full
on this.
rotations. A lot to clear though. The position that they're in, but they do have that player advantage.
No smoke for Heaven. I think they might have messed up, right? Some should have smoked Heaven and Victor should have smoked
Pushed up
Spawn.
onto that high ground.
Whoa.
In the reload off
Got a lot of damage.
seconds. Tapping away. Not
Shot.
covered. The reactions. Everybody's falling. And so
Big Joe.
of the Kenda
Okay,
duel
nicely
in a
done.
1v1.
Nicely done from G2.
G2 now up to
NRG just
12.
messed up here.
It's a
Because
single
so basically
round
the
will
Clove
do
could
it
smoke
for them. They've been in
Spawn,
complete control.
and the Omen could smoke
I
Heaven,
didn't
but
realize, I genuinely hadn't understood
yeah, the Omen
how
smoke just went to
personally
Spawn.
Leaf took not making Tokyo last year.
Yeah, just a comms issue here. I'm not entirely sure how long Victor had on his smoke, but
Trent also doing a huge job from A
player
Heaven there,
standing.
getting one and a huge amount of damage onto Finesse. But Leaf is dominant here today, finding outsized impact.
5.
Look at Jonah P there.
5
putting
chances
that
to
down.
end this,
Still
and
with the
G2
triple
have
stack
looked
over
great.
towards the B site.
I mean, this is a crazy committal by Trent. While all this is happening,
Did
as
not
well,
reach.
that pressure gets applied and Trent's
They
absorbing
can
it and
close. They
calming
could
it.
have close smoked anyway
Leaf's
here.
got walkabouts.
Heaven.
This guy,
It was like this.
he's
basically.
unleashed.
It's your fear.
He's got such a great read on the game.
And Nightfall comes in from the side at least.
And
Trent's going to be
G2 know they have to fight over towards the
different.
side,
Too
so
much
Omen
coming
just sends it
forward.
in.
Now with the util out.
He saw the
And
util.
open spray transfer, not able to be hit.
Trent.
Again. This guy cannot
Yeah.
be removed, and this is it, the turning point for the map. It's NRG who have to really just grapple onto any chance, any hope, but it's all being denied.
Shout out to G2,
all being
man.
ripped away from them. The Blade Storms.
Shout out to G2. They played this very, very well.
G2.
Just a couple of small rounds made the difference here, but for sure, NRG playing a little bit on hard mode with that comp.
For G2.
It certainly was. They opened it up spectacularly.